A very warm welcome to the top two finishers of the FIA Formula One Singapore Grand Prix, George Russell and Max Verstappen, and we're going to be joined very shortly by third place finisher Lando Norris. But George, let's start with you. A tremendous race, a faultless race by you. Were things out front as smooth as they looked?
I mean, a 1 hour 45 race here in Singapore, and the heat and humidity is never smooth and straightforward. But when I saw Max on the soft tyres, I knew I just needed to stay ahead of him at turn one. But then the opening laps were really strong, and I know Max was probably managing those softs more than I was managing my mediums. But pulling, the 10-second gap in 20-something laps was really great. And from that moment in, I just knew it was, bring it home and watch out for the wall at turn 10.
Well, after what happened a couple of years ago, does that make this win all the more satisfying?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, this track has not been my best friend over the years, and that's often been through my own doing. But as I said yesterday, I'm a very different driver today to the one I was a couple of years ago, and I feel more complete, more confident. I know exactly what I need to do in given circumstances. Of course, I was nervous before the race, as you'd expect, but I didn't feel any additional nerves or any additional pressure. It just felt like another race, and I knew I had a chance to win, and I felt comfortable with that. So, I said it for a while. I feel ready to fight for a championship. I feel ready to take it to the next step.
Now, we had that rain about an hour before the start. Just how nervous were you when you looked across and saw Max on the soft tyre?
Yeah, well, I thought it was a smart move from those guys, because if Max jumped me at turn one, to be honest, I think he would have won the race. Because overtaking was so challenging. You saw Lando was definitely the quickest guy out there, and he couldn't pass Max. He was within a second every single lap. So if Lando couldn't get past, I doubt we would have been able to achieve it. So it was crucial that we nailed the start. It's been a strong point of mine this year. So I'm glad we did.
You've said several times this weekend that you're not sure where this performance has come from. Having done 62 laps, do you think you understand a little bit more why you've been so quick here?
I think there's been less tyre overheating this year compared to years gone by. I think it's... Here he is. It's a track that in the past there was major overheating. But I think with some of the corners have new tarmac, it's a bit smoother. The tyres seem a little bit more robust this year. It was all just in a bit of a nicer window, but nevertheless, it was still quite a surprise.
Okay, very well done to you. Thank you, George. Max, let's come to you. A defensive masterclass from you out there. But can we start with the point George has just made? He thinks that if you'd taken the lead at turn one, you could have won the race. Do you agree?
Yeah, I think so too. It's just super hard to pass around here, but I didn't take the lead at turn one. So, yeah, I mean, we knew that the inside just was a lot worse for a start performance for whatever reason. It took a step back even compared to last year. So that's a bit of a shame, of course. So I knew already yesterday that it would be very tough to even keep the position on the same tires. Then, of course, with the rain as well, we opted to go for the soft. Just hoping that, first of all, we could keep our position and maybe have a shot at fighting for P1 into turn one. But yeah, well, once I didn't achieve that, it was proper management race, trying to keep those soft tires alive long enough to bring it to an acceptable lap to stop. Then, of course, I knew that even on the hard tire, it was still a long way to go. I think my tires were 6-7 laps older than I think George and Lando, more or less. So yeah, it was not easy out there. Plus the whole race, I was struggling a lot with first of all the shift, like downshifting and upshifting. So that was not helping, and the balance probably was not where I wanted it to be. So yeah, I think second was just the maximum that we could do today. But at the same time, even if the balance would have been miles better, second was still the best we could have done if you stay P2 into turn one. So that's just how it goes around here. When nothing crazy happens with a safety car or an opportunity, then that is just your position.
How do you assess the step forward that Red Bull has taken this weekend with the car?
I think over the last few races we've definitely improved a lot. I think a few things that we have done throughout the weekend, that's what we have to probably look at again for the coming races. But it's nothing shocking or we are lost, of why maybe some paces disappeared compared to what we would have liked. It's just some stuff that we need to analyze, and hopefully, next weekend we can do a little bit better.
Okay, Max, very well done. Thank you very much. Lando, let's come to you now. You were very racy out there tonight. George thinks you had the fastest car. Was this the happiest you've been with the car all weekend?
Probably just a little too late in the weekend now to say that. I think more just the race pace was strong and like it always is. And we just weren't good enough yesterday. I think we still need to understand. I think we understand why. But if we were to rerun qualifying now, like what would we really do different? I don't think we have maybe the best or clearest picture. And that's the only reason we couldn't win today. But the pace was, I think, also the best out there. It didn't matter. I couldn't get past Max. He didn't make any mistakes, and too difficult to follow here. So a bit of a shame. But I did what I could, and even though I was feeling good with the car, and I felt like if I could get past Max, I'd be able to try have a crack at catching George, and I think I would. It was just too difficult to follow and too difficult to overtake.
You say it's difficult to overtake. Just how much did the front wing damage you were carrying affect the performance of the car?
No idea, but not much.
You couldn't feel anything?
No, I didn't even know at the time, no.
Okay. You made a very good start. That's where you made the jump from your grid position. Just talk us through the opening 10 seconds of the race.
I can't remember it, to be honest. I think the start was good. Just right inside of the grid was good. I think it was a good launch as well. So I got across and put myself in a good position to not get checked up out of kind of one and into two, and had a big gap on the inside of Oscar. And it was just very close, still slippery because it was still damp in places and drying out. And I think I just clipped the back of Max's car, and that's just given me a little correction. But then that was it. So good in terms of I got two positions, and if I didn't get them there, I probably would never have got them. Just because, like we saw, it was too difficult to overtake. So the aggression there and the forward thinking was paid off.
Aggressive on the teammate.
Well, I hit Max, so it wasn't aggressive on my teammate. But
so talk us through it. The reason you lent on Oscar was because of the touch with Max?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Look, final one. 6 races to go. McLaren are Constructors' champions for the 10th time, their first back-to-back wins since 1991. What does this one mean to you?
Another one is just a great thing. It's, another constructor feels the same as the first, because to get the first was quite an achievement if you still look at where we were just 3 years ago. We've overtaken every team in terms of development. We've outdone them by a long way in terms of development, and in a time when it's almost harder to do than ever, with more restrictions and less wind tunnel time, all of those different things, budget cap, that's probably been more in our favour over the last 5 years comparing to the budget that the other teams could run at. In a time when it should be more difficult than ever to dominate, that's exactly what the team have done and given us by a long way the best car on the grid. And that's always a very nice thing to say. Every driver that gets to say that always puts a smile on your face. But we've also done very well as a team in terms of drivers, between Oscar and myself, pushing each other and delivering every single weekend. And you don't see that on any other team. So I think we're also very proud of that as drivers. But for me, I've been with McLaren since I started. Especially, it was a very different time and different place then to where we are now. So that journey makes it more special to know the downs, because that's a lot of what it was back then. To see the rise that we've had, to see the teamwork, the changes, the atmosphere difference, and the leadership from Zach, from Andrea especially, has turned things around and made us as a team the best in the world. And that's something not many people ever get to say.
Great stuff. Thank you very much for that. Okay, let's open this to the floor. Usual deal, name and publication. Yeah, Ronald.
Ronald, VordingMotorsport.com. It's a question to Max. You mentioned Red Bull's progress in recent weeks, and how would you describe the role of Laurent Mekies in that? He himself just said in hospitality, just like in Monza, my contribution is absolutely zero, and he actually pointed to you as one of the driving forces. And what Marco said, Laurent is way too humble, so how would you describe his contribution?
Yeah, well, I do. Yeah, I think Laurent is probably being too nice in that sense. But at the end of the day, I think what is very good is that we just approach it as a proper team effort. You know, we always just try to look into the details. We try to understand what our weaknesses were. And yeah, since a few races, it definitely picked up a lot. And maybe now it was not as good as last race weekend. But sometimes we came out of a race just a bit lost, you know, not really understanding why or how. I do think that now we understand why or how we can be better. And yeah, by asking the right questions, including Laurent, you know, being involved in that, it's just working well.
Thank you for that. Next, please.
Lawrence Edmondson, ESPN. A question for Lando. I appreciate that you said that you hit Max first and that led to the contact with Piastri. But of course, because there was contact with Oscar and the team have said that there shouldn't be contact when you're racing, were you ever concerned that they might ask you to give the position back? Or were you just certain within your understanding of the rules of engagement that that wasn't going to be on the cards?
I've still not even seen it, so I still need to go in and see it. I might look at it and think there's something else I could have done or could have done better. Anyone on the grid would have done exactly the same thing as what I did. So I think if you fault me for just going up the inside and putting my car on the inside of a big gap, then yeah, I think you should have been in Formula One. So, you know, I don't think there was anything wrong that I did. Of course, I misjudged a little bit how close I am to Max, but that's racing. Like, you know, nothing happened otherwise, and I am still convinced. Well, I'm sure I still would have just ended up ahead of Oscar anyway because I was on the inside, and he would have had the dirty side of the track on the outside. So. No, I need to go review it, of course. I need to look at things and see if there was something I could have done better. The last thing I want is to make contact with my teammate, especially because all I get is then questions from you guys. So, you know, I would put... I'm the one that can't afford anything comparing to him. You know, and I would put myself at risk just as much if that kind of thing happens, you know. So, yeah, I'll see what I can do better next time. But the FIA obviously thought it was fine, and the team did too. So that's it.
Thank you. Next at the front.
ZuraBubble.com. Question for Max. With 4 consecutive podiums under your belt, how confident are you that Red Bull can close the gap and fight Mercedes and Ferrari for second in the Constructors' Championship, given that you're only 10 points behind Ferrari and 35 off Mercedes?
Yeah, the 35 is quite a lot already. Ideally, I would have won today. But yeah, I mean, we will try for sure. It's gonna be. I think it's gonna be a proper battle. Yeah, it's of course not so easy when Mercedes wins today in URP2, and I think the other Mercedes also scored points in I don't know what position, you know. So it's tough, but we're gonna give it a good go. Yeah.
Congratulations on the Constructors' title, but with that out of the way, can we expect more racing against your teammate for the remainder of the 6 races? Is that a conversation you're going to have with your team and your teammate for the remainder of the season, as both of you are still in the title fight?
I mean, it'll just remain the same, which is open to race. So, yeah, nothing will change because we're free to race and have been the whole season.